Alrighty, let's try this again. So, yesterday, I'll get into it later, but basically I started making a model that and I had a lot of trouble with the assembly. And in general, just a lot of trouble with how much precision it required. So, my misconception came from the fact that I wanted to use, or the instructions said, use 1x3 pieces of paper. So by 1x3 just means the ratio, not 1 inch by 3 inch, but I took it far too literally. Ended up with this tiny piece of paper, and now I'm going to just upscale it to this. So that should hopefully make things a little easier. Hi Justin. Aren't you streaming right now? Keep it up, bud. I believe in you. Get that 110. My mom and I both used to be into origami. We went to a few conventions, some local meetups. And it's pretty relaxing pastime. Ah, god dang it. 105, nice. And I really enjoyed, I enjoyed all types of origami, but modular in particular came out with some very nice geometric figures. And I think the main reason I liked it is because of how repetitive it is. Like, there's not a lot of complexity in terms of the individual units. There's complexity in how that all fits together, but for the most part, it's... Okay, I think I need to stop using this. I don't think it's good enough to cut through anything. God dang it. It's ruining my paper. But yeah, repetitive, relaxing, and relatively simple. Like in BNS, there is a way to efficiently farm one of the most important mats in the game, but you would get it like one at a time, more or less. But I still enjoyed that. Like, I put something in the background and just mindlessly do that activity. But for the most part, we've stopped doing much origami. Sorry about that. She's a musician, an instructor, and in her pastime she mostly played Scrabble, until my sister came by recently and introduced her to looming. I think it's called looming. She's enjoyed it a lot. I assume it's for a pretty similar reason that we enjoyed origami. Very repetitive, very simple. Sorry, but the end product is worth the repetition. Why was that one so clean? I don't get it. This thing is so finicky. Sometimes this is perfect. This is exactly what I want every time. But I probably could get into it too, despite it being... Oh, no. I could get into it. I don't think it would be particularly interesting to watch, though. Although she did make a like a winter hat, and then I don't know what they're called, but it just like goes over the shoulders and like halfway down the back over a nice top, and then like it's nice enough to wear in public, actually. Okay, fair enough. So this time I'm not going to do all of the cuts before I start folding, because that did take quite a while. So I'll do more time on the monotony, less time on the assembly. Yesterday was pretty unfortunate with how everything turned out. So this was the model that I finished yesterday. I do not think I actually assembled this correctly. I think I'm going to reference a different guide for assembly. Is the thing on the left the form pyramids? Yes, that's correct. It's actually 5 pyramids, and they're tetrahedrons. Pyramids have a square as a base. This one has a triangle. I gotta sit up. I can see what I'm folding. Let me angle my mic. Hello. I think the only way we're gonna have much success in Apex Predator MMR is playing very passively. To getting a lot of third-party fights, maybe even like getting a Watson or Gibby. I think just a Gibby would be really helpful. But even still, that wouldn't be very interesting to watch. Right? It's hard to strike that balance. The only way you can play like it's a pub in Apex Predator is if you are way better than everyone else and you have a team to back you up. I would rather we have a Gibby than a Watson, to be honest. Not saying you have to play... But hold on, this is correct? 2 by... Yeah, it's definitely correct. Not saying you have to play either of them. But Watson's very situational, right? This is better for visibility too. Like you can actually see what I'm doing to some extent compared to yesterday. It's dangerous drinking coffee on a stream because you can already hear my throat being clogged up with mucus. I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't think it's the fault of the coffee. I think it's a morning thing. I need to have it pushed to mute, to be honest. Okay. I've got the lamp behind my monitor this time, so it does not cast a shadow directly on what I'm trying to look at. All in all, should be much better. The viewership yesterday was actually pretty solid, surprisingly enough. I wasn't just chatting instead of art, so we'll see what kind of difference it makes, if at all. Well, to be fair, a lot of it was people I know personally. I think the ASMR aspect of this would be a lot better if I was doing a more traditional model with like one piece of paper. Because you got a lot more of the paper noises that way. Here it's just, you know, very small, thin, fine movements. Oh, I'm definitely not going to finish before you're back. This thing is going to take it minimum 3 hours. Okay, that's fine. See you later, though. I ordered a mouse from Max Gaming, which is a European company that sells gaming peripherals. I ordered the Cooler Master MM710, which is one of the better lightweight mice out there right now, and I'm very excited because I enjoy using new peripherals, or at least trying them out. And moreover, could be gone. Oh, I see. All right, see you later. But I also have a little bit too much reverence for aesthetics. So I decided that I really liked the MM710 in white. So it's got pretty similar to this. No gaudy logo. Side buttons are also black, but the cable is white. and it's a bit of a more aesthetic shape, in my opinion. Aesthetically pleasing. So I decided to get it from the European company instead of Amazon, despite the shipping times. Because of that reason alone, it was pretty much the same price, although there's a lot more benefits to ordering from Amazon. That being said, I was willing to, put all that aside just to get the white version. I didn't think it would be that much of a difference anyway, like maybe a week or something. I ordered it the day after Christmas, 26th, and I don't think it's even shipped yet. They say they don't work at all on holidays, so fair enough. But I would expect it to at least give me some tracking info. Like I put in the tracking number and it's like, no data for this. I really don't spend too much on myself. Only like very important quality of life things or peripherals that I really... Oh, I mean, it's mostly peripherals. Like I got these headphones. The keyboard was like a year or two ago. And then my mouse, and then a mouse pad. I think that's it. I can't remember the last thing I bought aside from that. But I did get an electric razor for like daily shaving. And I've got a bone to pick with electric razors now. I don't know if any of you use them as your daily drivers. But that's what I had in mind. Like whenever I would finish shaving, I always felt like there was still like an implication of hair still on my lip. And I think that's, well, not lip, but you know what I mean. I think that's pretty common, right? It's kind of unavoidable. That being said, I thought an electric razor could help alleviate that issue, considering it would have a closer shave. Or so I assumed. But the electric razor that I got, I believe it was from Philips. It worked okay on body hair. Because they came with like these combs, similar to like a barber's comb. Not comb, like when you ask for 3 or 4, they have different lengths. It came with that sort of thing, a bunch of different lengths of hair and combs that you could apply to the razor. But for a clean shave, you do not apply a comb, and it should go as close as possible. But it would take like 5 or 6 passes over any given piece of hair, direct contact, to even shave it. And even then, it still was not as close to shave as a manual razor. I don't know if it's the product in particular is meant for body hair and not for facial hair, or it's just garbage in general. Like I honestly think that a manual razor, I mean, I guess it's not as good at controlling the length aside from a clean shave, but besides that, it just seems like a straight upgrade to this piece of garbage I got. Be curious to hear some testimonies from people who really like electric razors. I thought it would be like life-changing. Like an electric toothbrush was kind of life-changing. I really should invest in a better chair. Not because my chair, I mean, it has the issue of being a bit too low and not being particularly good for my back, considering there's no headrest. But aside from that, it's also like falling apart. Partially due to my cat scratching at it. When she wants my attention, she'll like claw at the chair and stretch. It's cute, but my poor chair. My cat is very shy. When I was at the shelter, I didn't really know what kind of cat I was looking for, but I found like the shy cats to be very cute, right? and there was one that like kind of backed away from me a bit, and it took quite a bit of effort to actually get to pet the cat. I think it was a tortoiseshell, but the cat I ended up adopting, she actually ran away from me for like a solid hour and a half. And I got to pet her like once or twice. But aside from the fact that I think it's cute, it also seems unlikely that most people would adopt a cat like her, because everyone really likes the friendly cats who go up to you and, you know, go rub up against your leg, for obvious reasons. But everyone always asks me like, hey, does she sleep with you yet? And she doesn't. She'll lay next to me for 10 to 20 minutes, flicking her tail into my face repeatedly. And then as soon as I make any movement, she'll just leave. How dare you disrupt my position. There's one time she fell asleep next to me, but aside from that, she hates me. I'm kidding. She just probably enjoys her her solitude. Or maybe she takes my movement as a signal that I want her to leave, even though, not true. Although when she flicks her tail at my face repeatedly, I kind of do, because I can't sleep. This thing is going to be pretty big. That's the basic assembly, though. I have these vertexes. I was going to stream Apex instead of origami earlier, but I had the inspiration to you do this with a larger scale. I really think it's going to be a lot easier. Like, this one already seems more stable, is a lot easier to put in, easier to fold, easier to talk over. It's just better experience. It's interesting when I talk about how I want to be a streamer to friends. Well, not really family. My family doesn't really know about like Twitch streaming. But when I talk about it to friends, they often have ideas on how a stream can be grown. Some of them make sense, but a lot of them are like, what's an example? A lot of people say like, keep playing Kovacs for a whole year and then make people watch or make another progress video, which sounds okay in theory, because you'll be a greater amount of progress and there'll be a bigger disparity between the start and the end point compared to the 1 month that I did with my existing video. But that would mean I would have to play Kovacs on stream for an entire year. That's simply not doable, I think. I think I did the best I could with playing Kovacs in terms of commentary. One sec. Yeah, I did the best I could in terms of commentary for Kovacs, trying to talk about various topics outside of the game. I think that's the best way to go about it. If to make unique, compelling content without being like the best aimer in the world, you should, try to monologue. However, it does stunt your growth. But I attempted to grow an audience that would stick around, right? If I built an audience based off of Kovacs, they would only want to see me play FPSs, or like Kovacs in particular. If I built an audience around like what I'm saying and my personality, then it might be a little bit longer lasting. It might be, right? I've had a little bit of audience retention, but not a great amount. I do think that Apex is a very difficult game to grow an audience with, because it's so easy just to like get third-partied, and then you have to play another 15 minutes before you get another fight. On top of that, the directory is so saturated. So the only way you're gonna get viewership. Actually, I don't even know. I don't think I've gotten like one viewer from Apex Legends who stuck around for a bit. Other people who added me were like people who just wanted to play, which is fine, but it's not really what I'm looking for right now. This is so easy compared to yesterday. It's actually crazy. It's coming together, boys. I found a YouTube video that assembles it live. I'm sticking with the blue gradient. Unfortunately, because I cut up the paper in a different way yesterday, I lost some of my gradient. So this is what remains. And it's going to end with this. It's not perfect. I think there's a big jump. There's a very small jump between this one and this one. And it's kind of like changing the hue, not just the saturation for this color, but and there's a big jump between this one and the one I'm holding. That's okay. I think it'll still be cool. Nice little display piece. Oh wait, my blue piece of paper. I went through like every single piece of paper to try to find one that matched a different shade of blue, but I only ended up having one, which is a real shame. I wonder if I can get my push to mute to work. I don't know what causes my early morning phlegm. Could be coffee, could be my cat, could be general allergies, but it's just really frustrating. I feel like there's nothing I can do about it. It's not even that debilitating, right? It's just annoying having to clear my throat constantly, especially as a streamer. I don't want to be clearing my throat in the mic all the time. I've talked about this on occasion several times, but meditation is something I've wanted to get into, and a friend of mine has recommended me ad nauseum. And another friend of mine, when I mentioned it, was like, "Yeah, okay, buddy." Because of the implication of meditation, which is like largely spiritual. But it's really not a spiritual skill at all. It's just like it's the ability to clear your mind of thought. And if you're able to do that, you generally have better concentration and better control of your thoughts. Because when I'm at idle, I have a very difficult time clearing my head. Like there's always something going on in there, which I think is normal, but it's just a practical skill to have, in my opinion, and it would probably help me with presence of mind, right? Not just in life, but even maybe in games, where I often forget, like, hey, I should be aiming for the head, or hey, I need to stop panicking, or take my time, that sort of thing. Maybe I have a idealistic view of what it would do for me, but regardless, I mean, I've tried to do it passively on a few occasions, like when I wake up, before I sleep, but I mean, I don't know, I probably should have dedicated like 20 minutes a day to try it, see if it has any longer, more complex benefits, right? But I have not. I'm a lazy boy. That being said, I am getting back into, I mean, bodybuilding is an extravagant term. Just exercising as a whole. Fitness, I suppose. Got my 5-day workout routine I stole from the internet. I don't know, I'm probably not going to keep up with it to a T, depending on how I'm feeling and like what kind of content I want to be creating. Because in the past, the main reason I even picked up fitness as a whole was to keep myself on a schedule, you know, get myself some level of self-motivation, hold myself accountable for something, etc. These are holding so much more nicely than yesterday. It's actually night and day. I got one more? I do. Cool, cool. I guess I'll keep this here. Tires my eyes a little bit to do this, because I have to look so closely to make sure everything is lined up perfectly. I think because my chair is so low, I've adopted the habit of sitting on my feet to give myself a little extra elevation. I feel like, what is the average male height for like adult men? 5'6". So I'm just above average. Maybe it's because that shorter people don't really discuss their height online, but whenever that comes up in conversation, I feel like I'm always the shortest person in the conversation. I get made fun of. I don't know if I'll keep up with origami in future streams. It's a nice little pastime. Nice little repetitive art form. At least modular origami. Oops, I need to flip this over. Let me turn the lights up a bit. Can I reach it? Okay. That'll help my eye strain slightly. Only problem is that I look like a apparition on the webcam. I've been thinking about getting into anime again, just a little bit. Just watching the really well-liked shows. But I have a bad habit of whenever I pick up any piece of media, I want to watch it front to back. So, like a manga, I read Oyasumi Pun Pun, which is, I would highly recommend if you like being sad. I read that, which is like 100-something pages, maybe even more. It was long, it took me like all day. But I read that all in one sitting. It's because I get sucked into these stories, these narratives that they weave together. And I don't want to put it down. I'm sure it's common. People talk about binging like Game of Thrones all the time. But with anime in particular, it's a pretty bad habit. Because I like picking them up fairly late at night. And then I'm watching an entire like 13 episode anime front to back. And I go to sleep at 7 a.m. or something stupid. Okay, this one's done. As long as I can fit this together. I think this will go actually quite smoothly. Everything has been so easy compared to yesterday, where I could have probably had more success with tweezers. I probably should have put this up to the camera a bit. So, we've got this vertex complete. Last one is here. Like, they're not falling out constantly. This is like a whole new experience. finagle. And that's it. We got a tetrahedron. Now we need 4 more of these, and we gotta intersect them. But the size comparison of yesterday, you could literally put it inside of it. That's pretty funny. My hands were not cut out for that kind of fine grain work. I'll stick with my macro level tetrahedrons. Okay, that's that. I don't know why I enjoy creating these geometric shapes so much from paper. But it'll be a nice display piece when it's all said and done. So next, what color do I want to do? I really like this light blue. Maybe I no. If I mess up, then I think I have 1 more of these, but after that, I'm done. I'm donezo. I do not have much paper left these days. I've got a much better method for cutting the paper, though, because I've got a ruler instead of eyeballing it and getting it all wrong. It's a paper ruler, though, because I am bereft of a real one. For the longest time, I hid my own face from the internet. Well, I kind of went in phases. If anyone's here who doesn't know me personally, I've had a pretty long history of like low self-esteem, right? So at first, I would get into these communities online and only use text to communicate with people, which is pretty common, I think. But even the people I became quite close with, people who I played a word game with all the time, I still wouldn't talk to them via microphone. So I would just exclusively use text, even when I think I really would have enjoyed that community. I probably would still be closer friends with them now too if I had spoken with a microphone. But oh, it is what it is. I still know some of them, so it's not complete loss. Oh, first try. Nice. Perfect thirds. And then the first person I talked to online was this 30 lol guy in chat here. I met him through the word game too, but we were good friends because we also played TF2 and OS. TF2 and OS. So I think me, him, and an IRL friend all hopped in a Discord. And the IRL friend was like a buffer. As in, like, he was someone I can easily talk to. And then third would just like chime in as well. And that made it a pretty easy transition for me. But I still recall being very nervous after my friend left. There's just something about text. Well, I mean, the thing about text is that you have more time to think about what you're going to say, and you have the option to backspace it before you send it. With voice, like if you're halfway through saying some dumb shit, I mean, you kind of got to finish what you started, right? At some point, it's too late to pivot. So I guess that was my reasoning. I was worried that people wouldn't like my personality over voice. And I felt like I can convey it more accurately. Or I could manipulate the perception of my personality better through text. This was easy. This thing is so good now. What happened? This failed me so many times. And now, on the light blue paper, it's perfect. Not a single like broken corner. They're all so cleanly cut. Wow. It's like one piece of paper. Oh, maybe I shouldn't get into sleight of hand after that performance. Alrighty. Then after that, I was still very uncomfortable with my appearance for a long time, a really long time, until like very recently, maybe half a year ago. My entire like high school, middle school, high school, and elementary school, I always thought I was like unattractive, but I didn't particularly care either, which I think was a strength of mine, is that I didn't really care what people thought in my like my peers at least. Not entirely true, but at least when it came to appearance, like I didn't really care. But that also led to some bad habits with not taking care of myself that well. But I kind of got into better self-care and self-improvement as a whole about half a year ago. I think it was that long. And like since then, I'm a lot more comfortable with how I look. And I decided on a whim, you know what, let me just put a face cam up on stream. If nothing else, it'll get my old friends to come by and say, oh, that's what you look like, huh? I even tried taking some Instagram selfies, which I never do, because I wanted to get myself more out of my comfort zone. Right. The reason I bring this all up is because the one documentation of my appearance before that point was when I was like 15. There was a photographer at an origami convention I attended with my mom, and they had taken and uploaded a photo without my permission. But I wasn't gonna like call them and say, hey, take this down, it's embarrassing. So I just got left up there. And at some point, some people found my first and last name and then found that picture. Which, honestly, it's not a bad picture. I think I looked better then than I did in high school, because that was pre-acne. Sorry. I do have a juicy anecdote that accompanies that, but I'll save it for another time. I recently went out to dinner with an old friend from high school. He was one of the few people who I consider like an actual friend. Like, we had a lot of common interests and stuff. Actually, that's not fair. I consider a lot of people friends, even if we didn't have that many common interests. Like, we still get along and stuff. But in high school, I mostly kept to myself, aside from a few people that I was really close with. And in my long period of before I started like my self-improvement efforts, I really let a lot of friends go by just never initiating conversation, which I'm pretty sure happens to everyone. But he contacted me first before I started getting into that habit, and he's like asked to play some games. And recently, he asked if we wanted to meet up while he was in town, and it was not awkward at all. Actually, I don't know. I felt good about carrying out conversation, unlike how I used to. I feel like a year or two ago, if he asked me, I would probably be a lot quieter. Through a lot of practice, well, I think BNS, Blade and Soul, It did a lot for me as a person, not just as like a competitive player. The clan dynamics and like socializing with people on a daily basis, having to be a point of leadership or in a position of leadership, was really good for my development. As I was about to say character development. That's not really a phrase you use for real people, huh? But it is kind of what I think is accurate. I developed as a person through communicating through that game. Because it came at a pretty dark point in my life when I had just gone to college, and none of my friends, no one even from my school was going to the same university as me. I had some real issues with connecting with people, and Blade and Soul was like this outlet for me to have some sort of social interaction and not just be completely on my own. And like, I made real friends through that game, not just like relations that involve raiding or whatever, or MMO mechanics. Like, it's just real people. It's very relaxing. Thank you. I take a lot of inspiration for this stream from someone called Teha Types. He does this. He's into the mechanical keyboards hobby, and most notably, he takes commissions from people who don't want to build their own keyboards, which is like a lot of pro players and stuff. Money to spend, don't have the expertise to build a keyboard. So they commission him, and he does like 4 or 5 hour streams in which he does like very monotonous, repetitive work. But he's got some nice jazz, some coffee, and a nice quiet voice. I thought maybe I could emulate that for a bit with origami until I start picking up another skill. I do have a habit of swallowing very hard, though. I've been told many times they can hear me, like my friends can hear me swallow my water, which I feel so bad. I probably just did it now, too. I'm sorry. Hopefully it doesn't make you uncomfortable. One of the topics that came up when I was out with my friend was skincare. Skincare was something I got into. Well, I never really got that deep into it, but I cared more about skincare after I had my laser resurfacing done, which is a treatment that involves removing the top layer of skin with a laser and having it grow back over the course of a week. It sounds a lot more disgusting than it actually is. I mean, it does look pretty strange for a bit. But after a week, you just look normal. It removed a lot of the discoloration, filled in a good amount of acne scars, and in general was a really good thing for my appearance, I think. What is the purpose of that treatment? Treats discoloration and acne scarring. I might be able to find a picture of my before and after you'd probably find interesting. I could not be more comfortable right now. Maybe I'll keep doing these from time to time. Sometimes it's nice to take a break from games, high octane action. I'm gonna find it. I think I've already passed it. I could be wrong. Okay, it's definitely before I started taking 500 selfies. But yeah, the purpose of the treatment is for people with acne scarring. So like very small indentations in the skin where acne used to be. And for people who have discolored skin as a result of past acne. Because in high school I had... Oh, I found it. I had very, very bad acne. Let's see if I can light this up a little bit. Alrighty. it's not really visible. I'll send it to my PC. So yeah, my past acne is a lot less visible now. And after that, it's pretty important to maintain a very healthy routine to prevent further acne from appearing and keeping your skin healthy. And my friend at dinner was telling me, like, I'm into this Korean skincare routine. Like, what the heck is that? He tells me there's like 6 different steps that you have to take every day. Like at night and in the morning, you've got like 2 different types of toners, a moisturizer, you use a face mask. I did not know he was so into it when I brought it up. But I mean, apparently he's quite passionate about it. And he tells people all the time, like, yeah, you should take better care of your skin. And he's right. I should. I think I've definitely paid a lot more attention to it post-treatment, though. It's a lot of steps. For sure, for sure. But my skin is extremely sensitive. It's to the point where I'm way too lazy for that. Yeah, I mean, I might cut out some of them, to be honest. Like, I might skip the face mask. But it doesn't take too long to put on, like, 3 different pieces of, or 3 different ointments, like lotion or moisturizer, toners. That seems fine, doable. I hear the toners are to like prevent too much oil from being created because my skin is naturally fairly oily, and on top of that, it also gets very dry. So that was the cause of my acne, I believe, a confluence of those 2 things. And oh wait, no, this is fine. A confluence of those 2 things, and my skin is so dry that it gets physically painful if I don't apply lotion. I don't know which one of my parents passed down that horrendous skin gene to me, but it's my curse. Okay, I should be able to fetch the image now. Oh. Oh, this is so bad. It's really bad. I'll put it on stream for a moment. Thanks, genetics. Unfortunately, when I ran out of a certain type of face lotion, I used some of my mom's who uses like these Korean products, and she's a big fan of Lush, so I'm like, okay, she probably has some higher end stuff I could try out. And like I tried 2 or 3 different things and they all created some form of acne again. Feels bad, man. But I stopped using it now and it's getting better. Thank goodness. Although one of my acne creams, like the way it works is that it basically just dries out the skin to the point where the acne will go away. But alright, here's the image. It's bad. It's real bad. That's the before and after. Alright, put that away before I puke. Tristan was in here yesterday and told me that you plugged my stream for him. That's one hell of a glow up. Yeah, it really did change a lot. It's really cool seeing those old faces again. I haven't really talked to anyone else from the community. I did see Peanut Better 27 in my Twitch chat, or like in the viewer list at some point, but I didn't call him out. I think we used to play Terraria together. I'm pretty sure he was in the Austin's or Apollo's community. I didn't plug his... Heck yeah. I should have you do my networking for me. In my attempts to do networking, I've been putting a lot of clips of Apex. I don't remember him, but I have shit memory. I don't know how active he was in chats. Probably not very. But what was I saying? My poor. You have shit memory. I forgot what I was saying literally 5 seconds ago. Oh well. Unfortunately, I do have to go now, though. Gotta help my mom with some stuff. Okay, thanks for stopping by. See you around. I do my best. Later. I think I might have to build all of these parts, the modules, before I start connecting them. I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, I'm gonna connect it anyway. Let's see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? Yesterday was stressful, to be honest, trying to get everything connected. So this goes in here. Oh, wait a minute. I have to bend this slightly. So much more simple. It just goes like this. And now? Isn't it such a nice shade of blue? I'm growing real fond of pastel colors. Pastel colors in grayscale, just like my keyboard. Okay, I think this is how the first one connects. So, we'll keep working. Work. I had big plans for my keyboard before I decided against it. Unfortunately, it was going to be quite expensive, though. I'll talk through it. Some of it might be lost. I'll try my best to explain to anyone who isn't into keyboards. But my current keyboard, I guess I'll show it for a bit. This one. I've got a nice custom cable, matches the layout here. I got 3 custom keycaps. The keycaps here are actually quite hard to come by, or they used to be. They're much more common now. But back then, uses different stem compared to cherry. Oh shit, sorry. I'm so sorry. I might as well showcase it for a second. Okay. Let me move this out of the way just in case I knock it over. So, this is known as topre. It is an electrocapacitive mechanical keyboard that uses domes, discrete rubber domes. So the stem, let's see, is it in the camera? It's not in focus, but that's what it looks like. You don't really need to see the details of it because it's basically just empty, with 2 little protrusions sticking out from the top and bottom. And I'll compare that to the typical mechanical keyboard. Which you will notice is quite a bit different. It's known as Cherry MX Red. And this type of stem is known as the MX style. The MX style is by far the more popular one, like by a factor of 10, if not more. There are other styles, typically third-party proprietary ones, and really old switches. Like Alps used to be a competitor for Cherry, but unfortunately they lost the war against them for whatever reason. People look back on Alps switches with a lot of fondness. Like the keyboard enthusiasts, they love Alps switches, but I guess the Cherry was just too good at minimizing costs or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, you may have noticed that my keyboard also has a very odd layout. I've really come to enjoy the layout. So for a new keyboard, I wanted to get another layout like this. I think this is the keyboard. Well, it was inspired by a really old keyboard, but this keyboard in particular popularized it in the modern day because it's got a really small form factor and it's got a really nice aesthetic, and it has better positions for the control and backspace key, in my opinion. It's much more efficient, less hand movement, and the small form factor also means that you have to move your hands less to get any given input because things are in layers rather than discrete keys. I should go a little faster here. So anyway, that's why I like the layout so much. Aesthetics plus usability. Oh, got a new comment. I actually thought my video has kind of run its course here, but it said 1.4K. Sorry, I'm gonna reply to this comment real quick. Wait, what the heck? Where is it? P.S. You're very underrated. Oh, what a sweetheart. It must be embedded in one of these reply chains because I cannot find it. This video did really well. I'm very happy with the reception here. I'll come back to it later, I guess. I can't find the comment. I wanted to reply to pretty much everyone who stopped by the video and said something, because it really means a lot that people are checking it out and leaving feedback. The only critique I've gotten so far was that I should play different scenarios for Kovacs, or I should have done it for longer. That's pretty much it. And one person said that because you're already so good, it's not that impressive. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything about that because I didn't want to play something on stream, well, like my first project that I was terrible at. But maybe it would have been worth it. I don't know. No point thinking about it. Anyway, so for my keyboard, the Topre switch that I mentioned earlier with the rubber domes, it feels amazing to type on because it's so smooth. It's like typing on tactile marshmallows, which is that's a bad way to put it because mushy keys aren't good either. But it's like a very soft typing experience, very comfortable. Only problem is that as a typing nerd, despite it feeling really good, I also care a lot about speed. And I do think that the fact that it's very tactile meaning when I press a key down, I guess I'll move it to frame. Like I'm putting some force in the key right now, but it won't press because I'm coming into contact with the tactile bump, the rubber dome. But if I put a little more pressure, it will just like bottom out immediately. That's the bump. So once I clear the bump, it more or less bottoms out. There are different levels of tactility depending on the switch type, but that's the general idea behind it. Clicky switches are kind of the same way, usually done with different mechanisms to generate a lot of noise. But I do think that linear switches, so linears are just constant force the whole way through. Those are the way to go for really quick typing. there are people who have done good scores with nonlinear switches, or they're consistently very fast typists with nonlinear switches. I think a lot of people use browns, but browns have such little tactility that it might as well be linear. So I wanted to go for a higher end linear switch, right? Cherries, despite their popularity, are not that good in terms of actual quality. And I didn't really notice that until I switched to taupe, which I found out that my reds, upon going back, felt quite scratchy. Not like sandpaper scratchy, but it definitely was noticeable. I used to think, like, how could a linear switch possibly get any better? It's just constant force, but it's actually not constant force because of the friction, the amount of friction. You could lubricate them, and many people do, but typically Cherry MX switches are not lubricated that often. I don't really know why, but I wanted to go for a higher end switch for this project. So first of all, there is... I got the notification again for my comment, or that comment. What the heck? Here it is. This person says, got a lot of motivation to practice even more. P.S. You're very underrated. P.S. 2, typing the same comment again because the first one got deleted somehow. Makes me happy. You get good feedback, or positive feedback. But anyway, there is indeed a keyboard that is like a custom case for this exact layout. It is known as the HHKB Tofu. It is made of aluminum. There is a brass weight in it. Sorry about that. There's a brass weight in it, and then there's like also a brass plate on the bottom, something like that. It's a really high quality case. It has some like clean, sharp angles. I like it a lot. I mean, the fact that it's full metal is also very impressive because this is plastic. Despite its price point, it's still plastic. But unfortunately, that case alone costs $150. So that's already more than like the Razer Huntsman. So quite expensive. Alright, let's assemble this real quick. Oh, scheiße. Okay, nice. This is so easy. It's actually crazy how much easier this is. To get to this point yesterday, it took me over 3 hours, and now it's taken me under an hour. Although I did cut all the paper, not just the ones I need. Okay, there we go. That's 2 intersections. It's like a David star, a 3-dimensional version of it. Kind of. Oh, that's cool. It'll look better as I attach more tetrahedra to it. I guess I should try to keep this in frame. Right here. Good enough. Next up, let's do the whites. Wait. I only have one piece of white paper? Oh no. Are these the same color? Am I losing it? They're definitely the same color. As I look for another piece of white paper, I'll continue my keyboard dialogue. Wait, this is white. Yes, good. So, next part of the keyboard that people generally look at is switches. Switches like Topre, like Cherry MX. Very important for the feel of the keyboard. I need to move this so I can get my ruler back. So I said I wanted linears earlier. So there are many, many linear switches out there, but the ones that are the most well liked are by two manufacturers. Actually, I think it's one manufacturer, but two different types of switches, right? So we have Gateron inks. Gateron inks are, well, you may have heard of Gateron switches before, because they made Cherry knockoffs in the past. So like a lot of cheap Cherry switches can be found through Gateron. Like Gateron reds, reds, blues, browns, and blacks are pretty much just knockoffs. Not really anything to write home about. However, while Cherry stagnated, Gateron continued to improve and innovate to the point where Gateron inks are considered some of the nicest and smoothest linear switches in the enthusiast community. I haven't used them, so everything I'm saying is hearsay, right? But for, I think, 60 switches, it's about $45. Actually, let me check that. Gateron Ink Black KBD fans. I think, oh no, that's, my Spotify's actually working. That's sick. It's okay. 10 pieces is $7.50. So if I wanted 80 switches, which is what, actually, I need a, I think 61, or 6 packs. That's 59. Sorry. Okay, 7.5 times 6. Yeah, $45 for 60 switches was correct. The other option is by Zeal PC, manufactured by Gateron, known as Telios. Telios are a very nice looking switch, but aside from that, Zeal PC is known for having like the highest quality MX style switches on the market, but also charge a lot for their switches. They sell Telios at $1 per switch, and this keyboard has 59 switches, I think, meaning that you'd spend $59 on just switches alone. Please cut. Please cut. Yes! Okay. Sorry, I'd ruined the paper. They even have a silenced version of that switch called the Helios, and that will, I think it's like $1.25 per switch. It's pretty ridiculous. Oh no, I hacked up. So what are we at now? Got 160 for the board, or the case rather, plus another 60-ish, so 220 for just the switches and the case. The case also comes with a PCB, at least. Next is keycaps. Keycaps are the things you put over the switches so that you press. And there's a lot of, that's where the main part of the creativity comes in for mechanical keyboards. At least in terms of aesthetics, right? It's what you do. You buy new keycaps if you want to customize your board without taking it apart. It's very, very simple to do, and it really adds a personal flair onto whatever board you're currently using. The really nice ones are going to be at least $100. $100 for plastic keycaps. It's crazy. Some of them cost even more than that. I wanted to join a group buy for a very specific type of keycap that would be limited time and not come back for very, very long while. And it was like $110 to join the group buy, which is considered very good. I didn't end up doing that, obviously. So what are we at now? $320. Feels bad, man. Then you get stabilizers, pretty cheap. The big keys, we need stabilizers, so like spacebar, shift, and enter. I think that's basically it though. Like some people buy lubricant for their switches, which actually does apparently change the feel of the keyboard quite a bit. And I did lubricate this board pretty painstakingly. And even then, for this board, you only had to take everything apart and then lube where the switch makes contact with the slider. Slider being, well, I think it's where the slider makes contact with the casing. Slider being the thing that moves up and down, and the case just being like a rectangular slot that it fits into. That's like the only point of friction. So adding some lubricant can aid in a smoother feeling. I used to do that with the Rubik's Cubes too, like I did with my stock Rubik's brand cube, and pretty much ruined it. I think I still have it. Yeah, it's kind of gross. It honestly turns decently well, considering it's a stock cube. I can't even do a T-perm, because there's no corner cutting on a stock cube. But you may be able to see the stickers are decrepit due to the terrible lube job I did. I think I used Vaseline. Does the name Lufe sound familiar? Or Loop Hay? No? Not to me. Was it someone who stopped by your Kovac stream? Cool. Nice. What was your title? Like, can't aim, don't watch? Or I'm bad? Something like that? Bad aim in jazz. Oh wow, you're actually just stealing. I see how it is. I think you may be occupying an interesting niche in the Kovacs community in which you are below average, so people want to come by and give you advice. Maybe that's the secret. Never improve. If you get to the point of mediocrity, people will just be disinterested. But if you're always bad, people will come by and try to help you. 200 IQ. But yeah, I ended up not wanting to spend like $350 on a keyboard. Decided, Topper is fine. I'd like linears for gaming, and I'd like linears for typing fast, quickly, whatever. But another time, another place. Get past 107. I mean, it's close. It's close to 110. Good job, bud. This is my progress so far. Wow. This was yesterday's progress. So I caught up to yesterday's progress quite quickly, although I had a different method of connection. It is pretty cool though. Yeah, this is a completely different interlocking point. Can I post a video of the one? I've already seen it. It honestly doesn't look that impressive. It's just like he doesn't miss. Should definitely do some, well, I think one of the large issues I saw is that your movement to new targets is quite slow. So something like target acquisition can help with that. But unfortunately, I don't know how you'd get that scenario. Someone recommended to me. Basically, you have a ball you aim at, and then a second one will appear periodically. And whenever the second one appears, you aim at the one that's static, and then as soon as the second one appears, you click the first one and then flick to the second. It's kind of like reflex flick, but a bit more dynamic. And it's free play too, so you can adjust the time scale and map scale. Well, I mean, they're all free play, but it's meant to be used in free play. I really do wish I spent more time with ironing out my tracking. I think that was an oversight. The fact that I spent a lot, well, I think regardless, most of the time that I was talking, I was basically not trying to improve that hard. I would do some improvement passively, but I kind of needed to focus in order to get real results from, or like real results every day, right? I got results over time, but I think I could have actually improved a lot more if I just shut up all the time. But it wouldn't make for a very good stream, I feel. Mostly because my flicks are imprecise and slow. Right. Slow down the time scale and then gradually go up. I think that'll help you a lot. Someone recommended me that technique of like starting slow and getting faster, but it is something I used in, or many musicians use in practice as well. You have trouble with a section, put on a metronome, halve the speed, and gradually increase it. And his phrasing was, like, get your technique down first, then work on, like, speed. I think that's a very interesting way to look at aim, where it's all about technique, not just, you know, clicking on stuff. The origami conventions I went to were pretty fun. I mean, I probably won't continue going to them. Maybe ever again. Maybe someday, but I'm not going to go out of my way. But, I mean, all it was you would go to, like, a large... is it a cafeteria? Just like a lobby area of a university, and then they put a bunch of cafeteria tables in there. People sit down, and then you pick your... like you sign up for classes for specific models they have on display. You go to do all that, and then like after 3 p.m. the classes end, and you can like just go around New York City. I remember the first time that we did that, we really skimped out on the hotel in terms of like which one we would pick. So we got a really bad one where it was kind of disgusting. And one of the features it had, I say feature, but it's more of a feature and lack thereof, is that there was no power button on the television. So in order to turn it on, you had to reach inside of the TV and like activate the switch. Because like the plastic that was used to press the power button was missing. On top of that, we had like a one double bed. It's just a very odd experience. Why wouldn't you go again? It's just a pretty big time commitment. I'm not really into this hobby too much anymore. It's really relaxing to do on occasion, but it's been a long time, you know? I don't know. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't go again, but the travel costs, travel time, and just the time commitment as a whole, it's hard to justify. Plus, it is very stressful driving in the city. I hate it a lot. I accidentally looked at your chat instead of mine when I was streaming. I was like, oh shit, someone was saying stuff, but I didn't notice. Feels bad, man. Okay, so this is where things get real. I think I can connect these three safely without having to worry about how it works in the greater model, but I'm gonna have to consult a video to determine how this one will interact with the rest. I don't know, I guess it's not fair to say that I wouldn't go again. It's not out of a lack of desire. Well, I mean, it kind of is. As interested I am in this hobby, it's still like 3 days of paper folding. It's a very unique experience, but I guess it really comes down to the fact that I'm not really a convention goer as a whole. Right? Despite all of my weird interests, I don't really like going to meetups for them. But it is true, at least when I was into the hobby, I had a really hard time finding diagrams and models for things I wanted to learn. But nowadays, it's much easier. I don't know why. I don't know what changed, actually. We caught up with the internet, I suppose. So, how in the world is this going to interact, is the question. Is it going to go through both? I'll save this for later, I suppose. I actually do think I can finish this within like 2 hours or so. Or 2 more hours, I should say. Also, I was under the impression that non-affiliates have a capped bitrate, and that's why when I play Apex, my stream looks like such low quality. But despite now having affiliate, my stream still looks like low quality in high-intensity situations. Or tension situations. What's your bitrate set to, Justin? Yours was a lot better than mine. Yours was a lot higher quality, I should say. $6,000? Okay. I'll try that. Mine is set to 5K. It was at 6K for a little bit, but I forgot why I changed it back. I don't know if you heard this already, but I did decide on picking up the ballast song with a butterfly knife as my next skill to pick up for a month. I'm kind of excited. Like I was juggling a few ideas around. I might as well go through the list because I don't think you were here for that stream. Let's take a look-see. TurboNerdSkills.docx. Okay. So we have cardistry, ballast song, 3 different variations of OS. So OS, just playing to improve in a month. OS with mouse, I think that would be probably a pretty compelling video because people really like mouse and OS. And OS, the easy mod, which is like pure reading. But that's for another day, or another month if I end up doing it. MOBAs for their extreme popularity and people's inability to improve at them. I'd be interested to see how I do. Picking up an instrument. I think I will do this at some point if I can continue streaming, because I think picking up a piano would be a pretty feasible thing to do in a month, and I've always wanted to do it. So, improving on existing skills. So typing, pen spinning, and speed cubing, I think would be bad videos. Next was yo-yo or 4A yo-yo. 4A is when the yo-yo actually leaves the string, similar to like a Chinese yo-yo. And I thought that was cool as heck. And I was actually planning on going for that. But let me go through the rest first. So juggling. I mean, it'd be mostly me dropping the balls on the floor and having a hard time talking into the mic as a result, you know? Sleight of hand. Could be cool. It's a very vast genre. But it would kind of be awkward to see when I'm first starting out because it would just look terrible. Surfing in CS, TF2, whatever, source games. Could be cool. People still like it, I think, just because it looks satisfying. But the surfing community is not that vast either. A Diablo, which is a Chinese yo-yo, Basically, you have 2 sticks, string in the middle, and a piece of a giant plastic yo-yo that you fling around. Vertical scrolling rhythm game, so that includes Clone Hero, Step Mania, Lunatic Rave, those kind of games, Beat Mania. I don't think those communities are popular enough outside of Clone Hero, but I don't really want to pick up that game just yet. Magic, TCG, not now. Tetris, I think I need a Switch because I need to play T99 to have mass appeal. Speedrunning, another very broad topic, and I think it's a little too broad to actually be that compelling. And if I were to pick up anything, it would have to be one specific game that I would learn, and that would make for a very niche video, right? And the last one I put on the list is Melee, SSBM. Someday, I'd love to do that. But out of all of these, I settled on 4A yo-yo as my skill of choice, because I think it would be a cool video, and people, like the videos of yo-yoists, is that the word? Yo-yoers? Were relatively popular. And on top of that, I can keep folding, I think. On top of that, I thought it would be okay to do in my room. But I decided against it. I decided to go for a skill I can do at my desk. I don't know. There's something that appeals to me about something I can do while I'm waiting in lobby for like a queue. A yo-yo, I mean, I have very limited space. I'd make a lot of noise. I think it'd be best done learning outside, to be honest. Don't slash giggle professional yo-yoing. Heck you. It's cool. I've been considering other skills to put on that list as well. Like, I think chess is really, really cool and really interesting. Even like chess, no, I'm making the same thing actually. So this is my progress so far, and this is what I had yesterday. This was very stressful to do because the paper size I used was way too small. Basically on the guide or the diagram I was using, they said to use 1x3 paper, and I took that as 1 inch by 3 inch, when really they were just saying like a 1:3 ratio. So I'm using 2x6 now, and it's way better. And it's also a lot more visible for the camera. Doesn't give my hands cramps. It's summertime. It is. I guess I can put away my keycap holder now. Forgot about that. Do any of you use electric razors for like facial shaving on a daily basis? I went on a little rant about this earlier. How'd you manage to get 140 words per minute? For practicing, or is that just using PC for a long time? I first started increasing my speed when I just used my PC a lot, but that was a long time ago. That was like Club Penguin era. That's how I got to like 70, 80 at an age of like 10. But from there, I did indeed try to increase my words per minute. So it first started from playing a word game where speed does matter. Like you have 5 seconds to type a word that matches a specific prompt, right? And in doing so, I really liked the players who had super fast typing. I was above average, but I wasn't that amazing, right? So I decided, let me switch from using my index finger on my left hand, 3 fingers on my right. No, it's 3 on my left, 1 on my right, then my thumb for the spacebar. That's all I used at like just under 100 words per minute. So it's not bad, but I wanted to switch to 10 fingers. It was obviously a very rocky start, getting new muscle memory calibrated, But when you force yourself to do it constantly, it didn't take that long. It took me like a week, and I got back to 100. And from there, I try to keep in mind two things when I'm playing Type Racer, which is what I use to improve. The first one is that improvement is done in cycles. At least in my opinion. For typing, the best way to go about it is to really focus on accuracy, get to really high ac at whatever words per minute you're comfortable with. And once you're consistent with that and have like really good technique there, then you start pushing speed. You'll have lower accuracy, but you'll have like faster typing speed. Then work on accuracy again. And you repeat that until you get to the words per minute that you are satisfied with. Also, I do believe that using the traditional touch typing method, which is like you have home row, and then your fingers never leave the home row. Like you just, whatever key you're pressing, that finger moves, and the rest of them stay there. I don't believe that's necessarily the best way to type. Alongside with the home row thing, even just using the same fingers for the same key every time is not necessarily the most efficient way to go about it. Take, for example, Sean Rona. He's a pretty popular figure of the typing community. Well, he's the most well-known outside of the typing community because of like one viral video. But he can consistently hit like average of 180 to 200. Pretty insane. And he only uses 9 fingers to type. And moreover, he uses different fingers for each key based on the context of the word. Even to the point where he'll sometimes use his thumb for like C and V. That's crazy to me. But I do think that it's valuable to learn how to type properly first, or at least with 10 fingers, right? Then keep in mind what I said about improvement. Also, another really important thing to keep in mind, when you're typing through texts, you don't want to just be moving at one uniform speed as quickly as you can. You want to slow down on the phrases that you are uncomfortable with, and you want to speed up on anything that you're like is simple, right? And I think that's the best way to go about with typing, because like there are very few people who can maintain a constant speed through difficult text. Maintaining accuracy through those kinds of text is way more important. Wait, what the heck? I never finished this one. Cheered 1 bit. Heck yeah. You got a badge too. Shamrock 1. Thank you, Broken, for the 1 cent. The reason I brought up electric razors earlier was because I got one from Amazon, thinking it would revolutionize my shaving routine, kind of like how an electric toothbrush did. Thanks for the tips. No worries. Thanks for the question. But yeah, I thought it would revolutionize my routine like an electric toothbrush did, but I found that its effectiveness was even worse than that of a manual razor. Like it took multiple passes to even shave one section of my upper lip. What the heck? I was like halfway done with this module and I just put it away. There we go. I am making, let's see if I can point to it on the camera. It's OBS. Wow. Right there. That thing. It is an icosahedron consisting of 5 intersecting tetrahedra. Tetrahedra being these little pyramids. Icosahedron being nerd shape. It's a big one. So this is the third tetrahedron, and I needed to get to intersect with these two. So I'm gonna have to consult the video here. I'm gonna play it on stream. Why not? Let's see, where's my window capture? Boom. So, this is the second one. Nicely fitted. Done that. Now this one goes through both. Wow. Next looks difficult. Good luck. The assembly is going to be very hard indeed, but the individual steps are quite easy. Like making all the modules and getting the triangles on their own, not hard. Putting it all together, exercise and frustration and crying. Thank you for the good luck though. Let's see, where does this one go? Okay, this goes over. Wow. Insane. This one goes in? Or no? My brain just broke. Okay, hold up. He inserts the blue from the side. Where's my blue? This is my blue. It's actually white, but close enough. Okay, it's this orientation. I see. Yes. Goes under, over, and you feed it. Under both of them, I believe, is the play here. Bold strategy, good sir. Yes, under both. So it goes within the oh shit. What's up? Do you have to shave? Yes. It's not bad, but I do have like a shadow, I guess. I don't know if I could ever grow a mustache. Probably not. Well, I don't know. I do generate quite a bit of hair on my lip every day. I would never ever grow facial hair though. I don't think it's a fit for me. Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that before I see what it looks like, but I don't think it fits my personality. Okay, this is looking interesting now. So I just gotta remember this guy's using blue where I'm using white. Oh my god, I'm lost again. I thought so too till I grew a stash. You have a mustache? Oh wow. I do think that people who have facial hair like almost always look better with it. Well, I mean, not always, but a lot of people, it just seems like it would be weird if they didn't have it. You might be a case like that. But I think in general, Asians look better without mustaches. Sometimes like a clean amount of stubble is a strange word to use, but like a well-kept beard, I guess. But not beard. Like shorter than that. Whatever. Okay, I think I see what to do here. It goes through, over the river, and through the woods. This feels a lot better than yesterday, to be honest, for obvious reasons. Namely that my fingers are not tweezers. The last, like, hour of my stream was me just failing over and over again to get it to intersect and not fall apart immediately after. But no tape required here, boys. Just brute force and precision. And some little coercion. Come on. Stay for a while. Enjoy your new home. Look at that. Okay, good. Did he finish? No. This one's on... Oh, okay. So it goes under one and over another one. How's that work? Does mine work the same way as his? Yes. Yes, it does. I guess, my mom always had a hard time with reading diagrams. I never really understood it. But I guess it's a similar thing here, where yesterday I was stuck at failing to read the diagram for hours and hours. Well, not hours and hours, just 1 hour. So it's levels of spatial awareness. Okay, now what the F is happening? I made a larger one, and it's about 15 million times easier to actually put together. 30 days of reading diagrams. That's funny. To be fair, it was a very bad diagram, in my opinion. Look at that. Now we're cooking with gas, except for where it falls apart and makes me want to cry. Flatten, insert, unflatten, boom. Vertex created. Do you struggle with furniture diagrams too? No. I mean, when there's given to me step by step, it's not a problem. The problem was that it was just a before and after in a poorly made MS Paint diagram. At least I assume it was MS Paint with how jagged the lines were. So the only problem I have now is that a lot of these things are kind of under some tension. So let me try to finesse it to get it to be a little less stressed. It's alright, buddy. You're gonna be okay. Don't need to stress. I mean, it's looking like something. It's pretty cool. When it's symmetrical, it'll be really cool. But for now, it's kind of like a... You know, just 3 little tetrahedras together. It is a shame that these 2 pieces of paper are like the same color. And on stream it looks like they are the same color. But I went through every single piece of paper in my collection. They're not quite the same. Yeah, you can kind of see. One is more like turquoise, and this one is like sea blue, sky blue. But I do need to cut them again. I need to get my ruler back. I'm using Ghibli decaled origami SMH. I never enjoyed novelty paper. I do remember getting like I don't know if it was gift wrap or was it actually just really large paper. Like it came in a roll, and it was like a yard long. And whenever I had the chance, I would try to cut out the biggest square possible to make something stupid out of it. Yard is a strange unit of measurement. I think like it's just a 3 feet. I don't really understand why the imperial system still exists. It just seems to be a straight downgrade from the metric system. It's like Lightsin and Shadowsin. Why would you ever play Lightsin? It's just worse. especially when you do like chemistry or physics, things just work when you're using the metric system. When you're using freaking liters, quarts, that doesn't make any sense. These cuts are going smoothly though. I'm happy that these thirds are actually working out now, because I'm not being an idiot about them. Thirds are hard because you cannot use a reference point. The way you do thirds with a square piece of paper is that you fold it over to where the white side and the blue side are symmetrical. But sometimes it's hard to tell, right? But this is actually perfectly symmetrical, and it actually does look like that on the camera. Never mind. To me, it looks like the white side is a little larger, but I'm dumb. These cuts, though. I'm sorry I insulted you so much, paper cutter. I was planning on doing my typical Apex stream around now, and then I would do the origami stream late at night. You want to play Apex later with my new and improved aim? Maybe. We shall see. But when I thought, like, let me just redo it with a larger paper, I really wanted to. I wanted to try. This is the worst fan I've ever seen. Oh my goodness. How did you get that one bit broken? Yo, I just realized that I actually have the ability to run a 60-second ad break. You watched ads? Oh, yeah, I remember doing that before. Do not? What? You guys don't want to watch like 5 minutes of ads with me? Come on. Cold gaming. Wow. Oh my goodness. I mentioned it yesterday, but I got back into my exercise routine. Well, I say routine, but it's been one day. And I'm feeling it all right. I have to do some more stretches. For those of you who exercise regularly, do you stretch before you do it? Muffin has been like adamantly telling me that it's very important. At the end of every stream, just run an hour of ads, and I'll keep it open for that money. I get like 10 cents. Definitely stretch. Okay. When I looked up, like, should you stretch on Google before working out, and like the top 5 results were all like, it's pseudoscience. It doesn't do anything. It actually makes it more likely that you will like pull a muscle. But doing it afterwards is good. Something like that. Stretches make me less sore the next day. Okay, interesting. I kind of like the soreness to some extent. I feel like it's an indicator that the correct body parts are being targeted. But I guess that's at some point you should just kind of know that. But I did have issues like with my bench presses. I felt like a lot of it was being put into my shoulders and like my biceps instead of my chest. And I really have to make a conscious effort to make it a chest heavy exercise. What gym do you go to? It's called my basement. I have a what's it called? Something cage. Workout cage. Power cage? Power rack is what it's called. It's not a gym. Like, we just have some dumbbells. We have a barbell and a power rack. That's it. Oh, and some bands. But you can still do quite a bit with that. When I first started, I just had 2 pairs of dumbbells, and I looked up how to do like an exercise for each part of the body with just dumbbells. You can kind of do it, but the focus or the intensity may not be what you're looking for. Free lifetime membership. That's a good strat. Hey, you're back. Here's what you missed. I also noticed that, I don't know what's happening there, but because he's multi-accounting, he got banned. This was a bad fold. There's kind of too much leeway here. Whatever. I used to have a pretty good recall for origami models. I remember the first time, like, there was a local meetup in Long Island at like the basement of a library called Life. It's Long Island folding enthusiasts. And it was mostly people in their like 50s, 60s who were into origami, which honestly is pretty freaking cool. People who are older and still have like unique pastimes, I respect it a lot. It's too silly to be true. Nah, it's real. But I remember the first day, one of the people there was like in his mid-20s, and he was a student like Stony Brook for physics. And he taught me a model he came up with himself, called like Humpty Dumpty, and it was it was like a mid-level model. But it did take like 20 minutes to teach, right? And I remember like going home that day and making like 5 more of them off of memory, which is pretty hard actually. I definitely do not remember it anymore. A basement of a library sounds more like a D&D type place than an origami club type place. Well, it was just like a room in the basement. I also remember there was a 30-year-old lady who gave me a diagram for origami Yoda, like from Star Wars, and my dad took it to the gym, and I kept calling him like, "Yo, you need to give that back to me." I needed to give it to her, and then she comes out to me like, "Hey, can I have that origami Yoda diagram back? I need to show it to someone." I'm like, shit. I watched a video before I started stream called like the 11 levels of origami, partially because I actually recognized the dude in the thumbnail from years ago, because I think I took a class from him at an origami convention. Pretty cool how that works out. His name was Robert Lang, and it did give me an appreciation for the difficulty of folding outside of just the design. Like I always thought design of your own models is the really hard part, but you know, from his really complex stuff that I kind of forgot it got that complex. There is a lot of difficulty and precision that goes into it. He's a very popular origami artist. Lang is a TF2 god. 11 levels of origami. Yes, that's the one. He made a bunch of cicadas, which is a really cool way to showcase it, actually. within the competitive typing community, the guy Sean Rona was kind of like the Cookie Z of typing, right? He was just kind of better than everyone else. Like, people would get decent scores every now and then, but my man would just win every race in Type Racer. Like, he has a page on his website which is like, here are my win-loss ratios against every single player in the Type Racer website. And he has positive ratios against literally all of them. Had like a 98% win rate. But can you make a cicada? I would need some diagrams. I don't remember models off memory except for like a paper crane now. But there's a dude, he's like a 18-year-old weeb or something. Just came out of nowhere using a really shitty laptop keyboard. He started pumping out 200 words per minute scores. Apparently he actually beat Sean in like a tournament. Well, I don't know if it's a tournament, but definitely like a competitive typing event on Type Racer that he beat Sean Rona. I didn't think too much of him because I thought he was kind of inconsistent. The Ruruchi of Type Racer. People have given Ruruchi a pretty harsh post-mortem. Like, we all look back on him fondly because he was a cool dude and he was kind of a mysterious character. But people say like all of Ruruchi's scores have kind of been surpassed to this day, but Cookie Z's scores, you know, they're a little bit more unique, and his well-roundedness was uncontested. Cookie Z himself said at some point, like, what do you think of Ruruchi? And he said, like, he's a hard worker, which is like a backhanded compliment. The only person that I've heard talking about Ruruchi seems to have a very low opinion of him. Really, I think he's still revered as for his legacy. As he should be. I think he really was one of the first players who was insanely good at tech maps. I think that he could beat Cookie Z in a lot of tech maps. Unfortunately, he has been surpassed in that aspect since then by a fairly large margin. Remember Neuronesia Flashlight? That came out of nowhere, and everyone was like, what the fuck? Would you be down to meet up next year? Why next year? You, me, and Hono? Apex LAN? Firing range 1v1s? Probably like summer? Oh, I see. Why was I mentioned? Because we're going to Korean barbecue with Justin tomorrow. You didn't get the invite? I'm kidding. Pinky is paying. Oh, scheiße. There are a few, like, I don't know if it's etiquette, but things I was unsure of. Like, should I ask for separate checks when I'm out with my friend here? Because I've never really gone out to eat with, just like one-on-one with a friend before, not gonna lie. Just split it? Yeah, that's what we ended up doing. We ended up using Venmo. But I didn't know if he had it. I mean, splitting checks is also not a big deal either. You just ask, like, hey, can we have separate checks? Splitting it 50-50, I mean, I ordered more than he did, so I would feel bad about making him pay more. Do you guys split on dates? Generally, no. Not that I would know. More people, more options. What does that mean? Oh, you buy stuff or you get food and then everyone just like takes whatever they want from people? I think that is pretty cool. I'm always almost always down to share whatever I get with, you know, family members, as long as they have, what's it called? Cleanliness in their spoons. At first I know, but if you guys both have jobs, yeah, I agree. You should definitely not always have the guy paying for everything. That's kind of outdated. I disagree on so many levels. With what? I guess you shouldn't. I mean, it just leaves a good impression. That's the main reason for not splitting. Yeah, I think it should be established pretty quickly that you're both willing to pay for things. You shouldn't be buying a relationship, but again, what do I know? But I do think it leaves a good impression. Yep, we make broken pay every time. I also think it does feel very good. I don't even eat meat. Ah, yikes. We gotta go somewhere else then. Cheeses, we good. Can vegans eat cheese? I know you're not a vegan, Birkin, but it's no, right? It comes from an animal. Birkin just chill there without eating them and then make him pay. Eat eggs and milk. But not cheese? Oh, never mind. I don't want to get too deep into it because I do think it's kind of a controversial topic. But I do remember reading on like a Team Fortress 2 forum, like, can you justify why you're not a vegan? And it actually led to some pretty interesting discussion. Like some of the people there are obviously very dismissive of it, but some people's opinions were legitimately like, I just like the taste of meat. Honestly, I think that's fine. This guy looks at TFTV. Yeah, it's kind of a shithole now. It's always about drama in some sort. I like how meat tastes. That's fair. Some people had the argument like, I don't think we should value animal life at the same level of human life. And that's a very controversial opinion, but never mind. I'm not gonna say whether I agree or disagree. It's always just a ton of drama. Everybody, they'd love to be dramatic and watch the drama. True, true. People eat that up. I guess I would still advocate for like humane conditions, and the demand of meat makes it so that a lot of the times like farm conditions are very inhumane for animals. I feel like many pet owners value their animals to the degree of people. Yeah, that's definitely true. It's like the all animals should be treated with the same level of respect as human life that people had like strong disagreement with. I'll just eat whatever is socially acceptable. Have you not watched Kingsman? I have not. This guy conforms to social norms, SMH. Okay, here we go. Number 3. Or 4. We're actually almost there, boys. Okay, I need to find this exact formation. So his blue is my green, I believe. No, his blue is my white. So it's like this. Final test involving a pet you raised, but oh well, didn't watch, heck you. You must eat it or kill it. I think this is the correct angle to strike from. Per true tier. No, this is not right. So his blue is my white. Orient it this way. I'm getting mind flooded again. Orient it this way. Oh boy, this is definitely where things are getting a little difficult. I'm having a difficult time deciphering where he has the same orientation that I do. Because I feel like it's always not the same. Maybe that's why there's so much strain on it, because I put it in incorrectly. I don't know, it seems to be fitting well, aside from that. Maybe there's one that should be on the outside, but it's actually on the inside. That might be the cause of this issue. Okay, let's take a look here. By let's, I mean me. Because I don't have it on stream. Stick to a point, they gotta radiate at 72 degrees. I have a video this time, instead of a static image. So I'm trying to emulate what this person is doing. I know some cruel parents that make their children grow a pig and then kill it in front to teach a lesson. That was a topic discussed in Silver Spoon. Okay, I think it's like this. Orient it here. And this line is correct. This line is going under in his model, and it's going over in mine. And the blue one, other blue ones, two blue ones. It's going under here, it's correct. It's going over here, also correct. But this is going a different way. And there's a lot of strain here. Okay, let me give that a try then. I have so much more freedom to actually disassemble this time around because it's really not hard to put it. I have so much more freedom this time. Oh shit. Okay. Calm down. This is where things start getting difficult, boys. For the little old me. Oh wait, it didn't disassemble. I forgot I already took that apart. But I'm a little bit mind flooded when it comes to the original position of these now. Okay, I think I'm gonna remove the white one, to be honest. I want to restart this triangle here. It's really not too bad, but I'm just I'm pretty sure I put that one in wrong. So I'm gonna go back, fix it. I need to fix these errors while I still can, right? If I put in like another whole tetrahedron, it'd be extremely hard to fix. Okay, so step one. Orient it like this. I gotta remember, white is dark blue, light blue is green. I don't have to remember, but it'll be helpful, I suppose. So in one of the corners, why is this not symmetrical? Oh, it is, kinda. Yeah, thanks for the follow. Oh right, it's not possible for it to fit perfectly, but that's fine. Let us begin. It's coming from your YouTube channel, man. Oh, thank you. Alrighty. I might need to put this in slow motion because my smooth brain is having trouble keeping up. Okay. Under the light blue, over the dark blue. This one goes over the light blue, under the dark blue. I am 100% sure of this movement's accuracy. Tighten the corner. Very astute move. YouTuber. Which way does he rotate? This way. Okay. I'm gonna hold it like an ice cream cone. Wait. Okay. I think this is where I may have made my error. Okay, that's interesting. I think this is not the same. I think... what the heck? So there's a problem here. And I think it's between these two. That the orientation of these two triangles is actually already wrong. Because his triangle has this... let's see, this blue piece on the other side. That's why I'm having a hard time following. I believe that's what's happening here. Yes. So what does that require me to do? Okay. This is a speedrun time, boys. We're going to start from scratch. But not... I mean, I have the modules. It's not going to be completely from scratch. It's interesting. I didn't pay attention to the exact position, and I've been punished for it. Okay, so this is going to go within here, the confines of the triangle. And it has to go to the left. Now this should be right. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, okay, I'm feeling good now, boys. Now it's all about precision, consistent motions. Beautiful. Beautiful. So man, what you're saying about Kovacs isn't true because my aim tracking flick shot are so bad. My KD is 0.43. Damn. How long have you been playing? I really do think that Kovacs can help you improve at a faster rate, but it's all about your mindset going into it. And if you only have like 5 hours in Kovacs, you may not see results right away in game. It takes some time to translate it as well, but it's mostly about like your technique that you pick up from Kovacs that'll translate. But really, it's in a huge way about mindset. Tell me more. I'd love to help you. technique. Yeah, honestly. Like the fine-grained motions in your aiming hands really do make a difference when it comes to hitting your shots. The technique is a SpongeBob reference. Okay. I did the exact same wrong orientation. Just kidding. Heck you. No, no, no. It's not the same. I swear to you, it's not the same. This is correct. So you see now it's on the left side. Well, for you it's the right side. Because I mirrored my camera. Okay, now. Step 1. We rewind the video. Can you suggest some things I should practice in Kovacs? How long have you been playing it so far? That'll change my... Well, if you're just starting out, you really want to work on your fundamentals. Which is, I guess is a broad term, but... Hold up. It goes here. Under... Oh, scheisse. Oh, scheisse. Sorry about my English. It's no worries, no worries. I don't know. I mean, I can give you some scenarios that I enjoyed doing and think that are things that I believe are the most helpful. But at the end of the day, Apex is my first FPS ever. Oh, okay. 0.43 is not that bad then. A lot of people I play with have less or worse KDs than that. At 0.432. Okay. I've already forgotten which color is which. If you have like 2 or 3 hours in Kovacs, you shouldn't be expecting to get like it's insane aim already. You're also going to have issues with moving while shooting. That's going to be a really big issue in Apex because you need to be moving a lot while firing, especially with like tracking weapons, right? You can't be standing still. And that's going to disrupt some of the things you learn from Kovacs, because in Kovacs you're almost always standing still. But still, I do believe that you will get some technique that will carry over within like 10 hours. If even less than that, like 5 hours or less than that even, you may still see results. There's also the consideration of your sensitivity, if that's comfortable for you. Kunai Storm is in chat earlier. He asked me to watch him play Kovacs, and he had such a hard time with tracking and small adjustments, fine adjustments. And lowering his sensitivity by like half made him better instantly, because his sense was way too high to the point where he could not have any fine-grained control with his mouse grip. Since it's 2.5, what's your DPI? Is this upside down? No, this is right. Okay. 800. Let's see. Mine is 1.2 at 800. So yours is twice as high as mine, which is still fine. What's that going to be? That's going to be like a 7-inch 360. Yeah, I think that's fine if you're comfortable with it, or if your mouse space limits you to that sense, then you should be okay. So really it's all about practice. I'd say try 1 wall 6 targets TE, 1 wall 6 targets small. Those kinds of scenarios are going to be good. Force yourself to get high accuracy and then start going faster, right? You need to push yourself to go faster, or else you're not going to be able to improve if you just stagnate at your current speed. But also make sure you get your accuracy down. Tracking scenarios, I think Kata IC long strafes is good. I'm going to write this in chat because it's pretty important. Kata IC long strafes. Go into free play and adjust the time scale to 0.25 or whatever you're comfortable with. It's an option in the bottom right of the menu. Once you hit like play on Kata IC long strafe, you'll see it. Slowly increase it towards 1 as you grow comfortable with it. You should be able to break your plateaus that way. But like I said, if it's your first FPS, you're going to have better aim than a lot of newer players, but it'll take time for it to all translate and all come together as to be like a really good Apex player. Because there's so many factors in that game that can constitute each fight, right? Okay, let me get this triangle reinserted. So I gotta remember his is the blue, mine is. Yes, I remember now. Okay. Under this, over this. If you got any more questions, let me know. I'm happy to help you. Also, there's the factor of recoil control in Apex. I'd advise you to hit up the training room for a bit, mess around with the spray patterns, because that's another Apex-specific skill that you can't learn in Kovacs. Every weapon has its own pattern you have to compensate for. So if you just try tracking normally, you're going to start missing a lot of shots due to recoil. Oh wait, I did this wrong. It has to go under. Under both. God, he's rotating it so much. Cat's long strafe is 6930 with 31.8 AC. Tracking is not easy. It's really hard to have really consistent speed and your reactivity being on point. I really recommend you slow it down to a lower speed and then slowly increase it. Also try keeping a bit more focus on your enemy, namely the training dummy. Sorry, yeah, just look a lot at your enemy. Look at the direction he's moving, and you should be able to determine when he like turns around a little faster if you're paying more attention to that. Okay, so that one's in place. Where's the one that's under both? Right here. I think this is where he's at. It'd literally be the same, but the only thing it affects is your mouse speed outside of games. I think he was talking to Kunai Storms, LA Dauda, because that's the same sense that he's currently using in a different scale. What should I practice for my flick? Reflex, flick, easy, target acquisition, easy in free play. Read how that works in the description. One wall, 6 targets, TE, and small. Those are 2 different scenarios. And tile frenzy strafing, in any of the variations. There's like a tile frenzy 180, tile frenzy strafing. They're all helpful. Just make sure you push yourself to go faster when there's no reason to. Oh, I see the orientation now. So blue, dark blue is white. Green is that. Okay. Yes, this is it. This is it. Double under again. Okay, I'm down. Thanks a lot, man. I will definitely have to inform my friends about your channel, man. Hey, thank you. Means a lot. Like I said, if you got more questions, I'm here to help you. As long as I'm live. I always like talking about improvement, even if it's specific to Kovacs. Oh my god, he baited me. He put it under both, and then he took it out and put it under one. Heck you. Which one was it? I'm so lost. Heck this guy. I think it was this one. That was the largest bait I've seen in my entire life. Okay. One more time. One more time, because I got lost in the sauce there. Sorry, boys. This is going to be the one, though. I need to be more patient with my unpauses, apparently, because didn't know he's pulling mind games on me. Been trying Firefox and it's tough switching from Chrome. What's your reason for switching from Chrome? The fact that they're taking your analytics all the time? Or like browsing data? RAM? Okay, that's fair. Memory hog for sure. Okay, this time right here. Send me back to the start. I'm going back to the start. He tries to bait you here by repositioning it mid-insertion. Unbelievable. Under, over. Good. Over, under. Perfect. Insane plays. Give that a crimp. That's where we get the rotation. Take another piece. This is a double under maneuver, right? No. It is. He tries to bait you again. The worst man of all time. Why has it been tough switching from Chrome? It's because you have everything here already. Oh, I put it in the wrong side. Yikes. User interface and shortcuts are all different. I get you, yeah. Sounds like Eric Satie. That's pretty funny. So he puts that one in. He's about to put this one in. So he's angling it like this. I gotta copy all of his movements. Rotates it 90. Rotates another 90. Here's the scene of the crime. Sorry, I don't have it playing, but... What is he doing? This man is the least precise of all time. He fails to insert it in the correct location. Never mind. I think it goes like this. This is kind of weird though. Why is it... It feels off. The white paper is kind of a... Shit. What am I doing here? It goes under? Under both? Okay, yeah, this is correct, according to this guy. Okay. Beautiful. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. When I get into the assembly mode, I forget about all conversational flow. I'm gonna have to see if this works or not, because it does not look correct, to be honest. Okay, so he's got the last one here. Okay, so... No, this is right. This is right. Yeah, okay, this is fine. But this is on the wrong side. That makes sense. My white paper is getting really overfolded, so it gets a lot less precise. Hopefully I just get it right at this point so I can stop abusing my poor paper. True, but also I don't know. I feel like the way that it weaves inside is not just like you can get it to come out the same way with a different intersection. It'll just have a lot more tension. Shit, how do you do that? Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that logic makes sense, but I'm also concerned that, you know, there is a method to all these intersections to make sure that the future tetrahedras can still fit together properly, and I don't have that kind of foresight intuitively. It's pressed up awfully tight against that corner. Can I get it out of there somehow? Do you think I should stop playing Apex and practice Kovacs more for a month? How many hours do you have in Apex? Like, if you're still new to Apex, you should keep playing that. Plus, it's probably more fun than just grinding Kovacs all day, every day. We've been practicing gameplay. True, true. I would be more Apex focused with maybe like Kovacs warm-up followed by Apex gameplay. Because you still have a lot of other skills in Apex you need to work on too, almost certainly. If you want to get better at Apex, play Apex. True, but also they're like, you know, individual skills you can practice outside of just playing the game. I think this is actually pretty solid. There's very few points of tension. The only one is like right here, and it's pretty minimal. He's already thrown another one. This madman. I'm not ready for it. Okay. Right. You definitely need to play both. Okay, so this is here. Spooks me every time. I think I should maybe move it up. It's very tightly fit. I don't know. I mean, it does look decent. I don't know if something's gone wrong in the process. Oh no, that white edge looks quite squished. I think it may be also a result of a very thin piece of paper. White paper is the thinnest due to not having any color added to it. Membrane uses like a sheet of plastic, and when you push it down, it like activates the circuit to, you know, input a keystroke. It's just very mushy and inconsistent feeling. Office keyboards are typically membrane or rubber dome, one of the two. Okay, so I gotta recall, blue is the green in his, and then dark blue is the white. So that means it has to be oriented in a different way. Yeah, most cheap keyboards are membrane. This is correct, I believe. Man, this is really difficult. I mean, they say like creating the pieces is very easy and then assembly very hard. And yeah, that's pretty much true to a T. Because this does not seem correct again. I don't know if I'm losing it or if I'm just not looking at the right rotation. Actually, this is... So this goes up, but it goes over here instead of going under. I think that might be correct as well. I might have to change that. So what's the other ones? Dark blue. This is a different rotation from mine. Once you go mechanical, you can't go back. I mean, there are good rubber dome keyboards. I don't know if there are any good membrane ones, but there are some rubber domes that are kind of close to the one that I use, but they're few and far between. Oh man, my brain is working overtime here. Figure out this puzzle. It's a tough one indeed. I'm just gonna adjust it on the fly, I think. That's the way to go here. But this is coming at a completely different angle than his. I must be holding it incorrectly. So if it's like this... Oh wait. This looks pretty good. Yeah, this looks perfect. This looks exactly like his here. I have to see him rotate a little bit to see if it's still correct, but I'm gonna give it a try with a new piece. Jesus, this is hard. There's so many moving parts here. So many different layers that you can intersect with. So we'll start here. Okay. Goes into the dark blue piece. Under the white. Pretty much under everything. What? What is this wizardry? Good. And then the other corner has to go inside somehow. Please show us. Is that correct? Oh, interesting. Oh, peculiar. That's clean, actually. That is pretty clean. I will not lie. Fits well. I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm just going to try to follow his instructions as well as I can. Under... So I think I'm... Let me compare with his first. See how much I've messed up here. Oh my god, there's so many points. I don't think I've really messed up with the intersections. Maybe just like the points of contact are a little bit off, but hopefully I can shuffle them around a little bit later. Okay, so it goes... I was right. It's not arbitrary. I should be able to just do this intuitively. And then I can always adjust later, right? But is this correct? I think it is, actually. I do think this is correct. It started off very cleanly, and then I realized that it was all wrong. Oopsies. That's still pretty good, though. I like that. I'm gonna wait for my instructor. Tell me what to do, please. I'm lost in this geometrical world. Oh, how did they rotate? I didn't see. Okay, so he's at the bottom corner now. Bottom corner's at the top. Like this. And then it looks here. This is odd. Feeling your cat will want a nibble. The cat's not that mischievous, I don't think. Okay, now this is confusing because I feel like my architecture here is completely different. Kind of looks like a ball. So let's see here. He's got the pink one facing down. This is not gonna fit well. Let me try something else. Let me do the white one last. Or not last, but let me do the other blue one first. Because this one holds a little better. I feel like the white one is not creating enough stability. So unfortunately, I'm gonna go one more time through this. I'm gonna try to do it a little bit more intuitively, less just straight up following. Because I feel like when I'm putting them together, I'm not paying enough attention to the actual shape. So Hono is right, as usual. We'll come back to this. I need to tighten those folds to make him stay later. God, this is not a nightmare, but it certainly is hard. Could you repeat that? I missed it. Hono is addicted to Blade and Soul and needs to quit immediately. Yikes. Yikes. So the Ray impressions lately, Hono. Okay, so paying attention to the shape of the whole thing here. So this is getting squished, so this needs to be moved over a little bit. Pinch this to try to get it to stay. It's not getting squished actually, it's just not holding that well. My spatial awareness, dude, is so bad. But it is supposedly supposed to go under both of these. I'm not the odd off-center peaks. That's the off-center part is what makes this so difficult for me. I guess I could examine a finished model. Because that one should be... Oh, I see. I see indeed. That's an interesting way to think about it. I'm so mind flooded. So let's see, these peaks here are the ones that should be put together. God, this is so difficult. Move this while I still have the chance. I think that should be fine. Yeah. Oh wait, I gotta put it through first. So I believe it should go like that. I do like those peaks here. I think this should be okay. Oh shit. This requires a surprising amount of intensive spatial awareness. Try to fix it before I insert here. Can it go over? I don't think so. That's a problem. But I think these three, like this formation here, where it's like staggered triangles, is what I should be looking for and like replicating here. So the staggered triangle should be here as well, I believe. So we need to move that over. But I can't. Jesus. Jesus. And how does he get it to stay so well? This one's fine. But this one seems like it's impossible to get to be that formation. Can I do this? I might be able to. Let me give it a try. It's the worst that could happen. I think this is the lowest amount of bowing I've had so far. Let me try to see the shape. So here are the triangles, these three right here, and we have to keep. All right, there's still some bowing though. Damn. it's a very difficult balance to strike, you know? This one is really bad right here. So do we have to invert it? Probably. Yeah, probably. I have to think more about the overlapping. Where should be overlapping? Like, what colors are overlapping what? Oh, things are shifting. I hate it. Oh no. That was really bad. Now it's all a mess. It fell apart. Shit, dude. Oh my god. No, people usually don't. I mean, some people use tape to assemble it, but that's not really the issue. The issue is my understanding of how this shape actually looks when it's completed. But no, I fucked it. I actually, I didn't put enough support. Okay. I have to pay so much attention to the shape that he's creating here. Here. Just like this. Okay. Comes out like that. Perfect. Oops. This one. Oh my god. It's easier said than done, Hono. Like, looking at this thing as it's being created while everything is shifting, it's difficult to even see the peaks and like the intersections and the overlapping. Okay, we have it the exact same way now. This is correct so far. Right, okay. I see the peaks. Also the hard part is that it shifts because you have to finagle it through some various layers. Okay, I still see it so far. I think. Is this still correct? The top area? Yes, this is correct. This should be just like slightly bent. I think I need to hold the dark blue bit as a, like the whole time. I can't hold anything else or else it'll start shifting. How in the world do I do that, though? I think I can rest it, maybe? Like right here? Oh no, it's moving. That's fine. That's good enough. As long as the light blue one is stationary, that's all that matters here. Well, So this is pristine so far. Yeah, I see it, I see it. One moment, I need to check out his orientation. So it's the top one. I'm getting fatigued. Okay, I'm ready, I'm ready. Alright, hold this piece in particular. Yes, this is it. Yep, okay, everything's perfect. Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. It's under everything to hit that there. Like this, apparently. Wow. Really? I don't think this is gonna turn out well. Okay, actually it's not really under too much tension here. Just need to hold it by the dark blue again. Yeah, this is still good. Oops. Did not even know there was a button to skip 10 seconds back, but I found it apparently. Ooh, I think I'm oriented a little too high with this one here. It's a risky move I just did. Oh, yikes. This isn't working. This is going to be a huge bend. But why? Oh god, I fucked up again. No, I mean, like, everything's fine. It's just this one piece is not working out properly. I think I'm... I actually don't get it. So this should be like this. So this is oriented too high, yeah. How in the world do I fix that? Sorry. This has not made it any better at all. It has to go under the light blue one and over the dark blue. I guess this could work. I'll give it a try. It's crazy that I cannot adjust it after everything's in place, even if it's through the correct layers. I wonder how that works. Maybe I can if I just add a little more force. Yikes. Here we go. At least the connectivity part is not that hard. It's all about the idea now. Yeah, this is still quite bad. I don't get it, man. I'm so bad at this. Now I can't even see the icosahedron shape. Okay, I see it here. This is correct for sure. The rest of it, not so much. We're going to take a more free flow approach to this. Start undoing anything that doesn't work out. And then I'll adjust later if the layers don't make sense. I mean, that seems pretty good. This is good. It's actually not bad. It's a little tension right here. That's okay. Yeah, I think it's not enough space. Yeah, there we go, there we go. That's not bad. Okay, I'm gonna try to put in this last one. I'm gonna call it because I've completely. Maybe modulars. Maybe I should go for easier modulars next time because this one is a lot of spatial awareness that I definitely do not have. So let's see. Let me find his point of entry. Here we go, this is a good one here. Where is it? Kinda. Okay, well I mean this is good for the future. I know that I could have to do something a little easier. Because when I'm thinking so hard, it's hard to create conversation. This happened yesterday too, but I thought a larger scale would make things a little easier, and it does for sure. This is a lot more about the connection, or like the location of everything rather than the physical connections, because that's much simpler with a larger scale here. But that being said, it's still hellish. Still very difficult. Okay, I see the seam. This is where I can get my entry point. Oh, scheiße. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take a break soon. I'll come back later, but I want to get this last one at least. So where should it go? If I want it to go, it should go right here, I think. So let's see. This one over, under. So I want the triangle to protrude from right. Oopsies. I'm kind of seeing the shape now. It's all about the triangles being slightly translated that creates the icosahedron. There's 5 of them, so it'll create a pentagonal, like, or a pentagon between the intersection of the 3 triangles. But it's still freaking hard as heck. You know, I think I'm gonna take a break now. This is really hard. It looks alright on stream, I suppose, but man, my brain. I'll think about it more. Thanks for watching. Later. Oh boy. Okay, we're close, boys. The difference between this and like somewhere over here, it's getting close. I really like my color scheme. Now I just need one piece to go. Where's my ruler? I'll be honest, my commentary got very shoddy towards the end of the last stream because I was just concentrating so hard trying to visualize the way that it was supposed to come together, and I just couldn't. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't. So I tried following the guide again a little bit more carefully, like everything trying to be as perfect as possible. And it took a few tries, but we got what I have now. We'll see if it turns out how it's supposed to. That's the final remaining question, right? Not much of a rap listener, to be honest, but Nujabes had a very unique style. It's like kind of like a jazz rap, right? Come on. Did it work? Nice. I think I need to make all of the units before I start assembling. I showed the model to my mom earlier because she was also into origami, and she's like, wow, I really wanted to make that model years ago and I never had the chance, so it's pretty funny that I did it on my own just by coincidence. Hono's not here, that's from a few hours ago. I remember listening to Nujabes while playing Warframe. I felt like it fit perfectly. So much flow in that game, and so much flow in this music. It's really cool. Almost done. Thank you. Yeah, we're almost done. Hopefully, I didn't make a mistake 20 steps ago. Right? The end of the last stream got very rough because I kept restarting. Various sections had to keep getting undone in order to fix the problems that I made long ago. Let me just shimmy over a little bit. I think I'll probably do this again. Maybe not soon. Maybe soon, but I don't know. I need inspiration for a model I want to try. I love complexity in models, but watching my model fall apart over and over again while I panically describe my despair. It's probably not the best for content. I think the slow-paced, like very methodical type of origami would be good for stream. Like the hedgehog that I made the other day. I don't know if you were here when I showed it off, but it's kind of like a tessellation. Like you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you turn that into the spikes of a hedgehog. It's quite cool. I think I'd like to make some complex flowers too. There is one particular one known as the Kawasaki Rose. It's very popular, and it had a very interesting. Well, a lot of complex models, the way you do it is that you make a bunch of pre-creases along. Yeah, you missed a little bit. We're almost there. But I will say that the last hour of the stream was pretty much like the last hour of the previous stream. Like realizing that I made several mistakes and having to undo all of it. And thus, my commentary veered to a halt. Do you do a lot of reading, May and Gomu? I enjoy the English language just as a whole, mostly because of my fascination with words, thanks to Bomb Party. Only reading manga? I see. So I would probably have a lot of fun reading stuff from more established authors. Like I tried to pick up Infinite Jest a while ago. It's got a lot of the things that was written in that book kind of went over my head. Like it's supposed to be like half comedy, half drama, I think. I can't really remember. Like it was a pretty funny book, and one of the other benefits or other quirks of it, despite other than being insanely long, was the fact that it had very colorful vocabulary, as in like used a lot of obscure words. So I recall asking some Bomb Party players like what book should I read, and one of them recommended me that, probably largely in part due to the word choice. Your news articles and reports these days. I used to like reading books, but now reading for fun instead of information doesn't appeal. Interesting. I had a friend in high school who loved learning, and he would like always read nonfiction, and I just couldn't understand it back then. Books to me were like movies, right? Purely entertainment, but somewhere in between. Of like the entertainment of learning is definitely something I'd probably enjoy more nowadays. I think I hacked this up. Go a little deeper. I feel like I can make many mistakes, and what really matters is the way I assemble it, not the modules themselves. Wow, what a tiny adjustment made a huge difference for the angle. Probably didn't come across that well on camera, but it really was a huge difference. But yeah, if I make a longer, more sequential type of model, I think that would be a lot more interesting to watch. Because the way this one is set up, it's a lot of the same thing done in rote, followed by a lot of, painstaking assembly. Modular assembly is very fun, but it also requires a lot of patience. Patience, trial and error, all that stuff. And for me, that's difficult to do on stream. Honestly, my head actually was kind of hurting because of trying to picture how the model was supposed to look. Like, I try to think of it in so many different angles. Well, literally and figuratively angles. And I just could not determine the shape of the icosahedron or like the translation of the tetrahedrons that makes it into the model. My poor modules are so decrepit now because of how many times they've been folded over. Spotify isn't updating. Boom. I watched a few videos before starting today's stream. or the afternoon stream, I suppose. One of them was like ASMR cardistry, which I don't really care for ASMR at all. I think it's a gimmick, and I think it is a gimmick. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's some science behind like a certain. People say like a certain noises trigger their ASMR. So maybe it's a real thing, but for most people it's just like an excuse to have like background noise that's relatively quiet. But either way, the cardistry itself was very impressive, and it was very smooth, right? The smoothness is what gets me, because I love stuff like that. Very flashy movements from like very smooth hand movements. ASMR origami streamer from that thinks ASMR is a gimmick. Hey man, I didn't put it in my title just yet. Maybe I should turn the microphone around and just have the paper noises instead. I mean, I'm occupying a similar niche, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't bash it. Well, I'm not bashing it. But I follow a channel called Kairosan22 who does reviews of old keyboards, not modern mechanicals, like ancient mechanicals. And one of his more recent video ideas is called like these typing demos, and then people in the comments would just say like, just put ASMR in the title and increase your view count. And that's what kind of solidified in my mind that it's mostly a gimmick. Yo, Nick, do you remember the Baza that I loved so much in Warframe? I laughed because I called you Nick just because I read your name at the same time of saying it. I do that sometimes and people get upset at me. I do remember your Baza. They released the Baza Prime like a few weeks ago. Pretty much everyone across the board is just calling it complete garbage. I looked at the stat changes and like, yep, this does not seem to be changing much of anything. Not like there's no way this would ever be meta, unfortunately. Only way it's meta at all is with Hunter Viral, and even then, you need like an insane Riven to make it viable. I was gonna come back to the game just to get the Baza. I really love that weapon. Well, honestly, I probably enjoyed like the Vasto more than the Baza. Just the feel and the sound of silenced weapons as a whole. Alright, let's just go. I think I fold it this way. Yes. I think Nujabes is copyrighted, so this VODs are probably gonna get axed. Change face cam into a cat cam. Where's my OBS? There she is. I don't. The wire's not long enough. Heck. There we go. Good enough. But anyway, I was watching that ASMR cardistry video, and I was very impressed. Like, I think a lot of it is kind of silly, but just like the raw card handling and like very complex shuffling was very cool to me. And like the flashy stuff like card springs, also very cool. Just those like tactile, what's the word? Fine motor skill types of hobbies I love a lot. Especially ones you can do at your desk, so I can do it while waiting for your queue in Apex Legends. So what am I'm gonna have a Rubik's Cube, a pen, a balisong, and a deck of cards at my desk whenever I'm waiting for something. It's unhealthy. I need to have my hands at rest sometime before I contract early onset RSI. I do wish I had spent more time with pen spinning. Dude, if you get arthritis, your life will be over. Damn. I think I'm very safe with my movements. I don't know. I probably, I mean, I could say that now before I contract anything, but I do a lot of stretching. I feel like my movements are pretty ergonomic. Like I'm never straining my wrist too much. I don't think I almost contracted RSI, but I used to experience a little bit of wrist pain when I was playing OS. Which is like right around the carpal tunnel, I think, is where I would have it. And that was pretty scary. In fact, a friend of mine, Deathbane, if you know him from BNS or Final Fantasy, he used to commute to the New York City every single day to play in Melee locals. Not every single day, like every week maybe. And apparently like someday on the way home he just like had such unbearable pain in his wrist, and he had contracted like tendonitis or something, some form of RSI, and obviously he had to retire and he had to wear like a wrist brace to sleep every night. And it's apparently not so bad now, but it is scary that he felt nothing before that time. Genetics are awful and basically live life like I'm on borrowed time. It tests positive for genetic markers for 30 plus degenerative diseases. Damn. Apparently Mustard played with Third and Justin, and Mustard outdamaged both of them. At least in one of the games. I guess Mustard is the person I should be bringing to Apex Predator with me. There was a... Oh, I wanted to talk about this earlier, but I brought up my... the person who got me into BNS a few times. Her name was Lone T or something. She was kind of like emotionally manipulative to her close friends and such. But that aside, I won't go too deep into that unless I think of a specific anecdote. But I actually forgot that when she wanted nothing to do with me anymore, she actually logged onto my BNS account, because I had given it to her to do some dailies while I was away or something. And she deleted my character, my main, which back then was, you have to wait 24 hours, or 12 hours to actually delete the character. I guess I was asleep for the very perfect amount of time. I completely forgot that happened. It's really crazy that they were that much of a sociopath. They wanted to ruin the gameplay experience for me. So I almost just said, like, you know what, forget it, let me just quit the game. But instead I contacted support to say like, hey, I think my account got compromised. You know, is there any way you can restore some of the stuff I had? And they actually did manage to do it. And the craziest part was that I actually forgave her. Because she was my closest friend at the time. It was bad. It's a very bad relationship. But regardless, if I had given up then, I wouldn't have the friends I have now, so it's funny how that works out. I do want to do a joke BT run with Nudie at some point. Well, not a joke BT run, just like a small amount of players, maybe remove some gear, relive the good old days. But I haven't logged on and since I did the DT run. Those kinds of runs are very nostalgic though. Alright, the final piece of the puzzle is about to be put together. And this is going to require, I'll be done for some meme BT next to do mix. Heck yeah. Okay, we have all the components. We have the model. I think the model at this point has enough points that it's very unlikely for it to fall apart randomly. Only problem is, did I make a mistake a while back that is no longer fixable? We'll find out. I do want to, before I start this, one of the people who was in my chat earlier was Dumbsound. And he was telling me, like, you know, just look at the way that the points radiate from the middle, and that will allow you to, you know, determine the shape of the icosahedron, and they have to all rotate 60 degrees in sequence. And he says, like, or I told him, like, it's a lot easier said than done. Like, when everything's coming together, all these colors, it's really kind of mind flooding. Trying to envision the shape that you're creating is a lot easier than it sounds, or a lot harder than it sounds, sorry. So let me show you what he came up with. He is an animator, and using a 3D modeling program named Maya, he imported 5 tetrahedrons that he attempted to intersect. He failed to do so. He says, "I've been at this for hours, this is absurd." It's hilarious to me. I'm not mocking him, obviously. He's been my moral support here. Although his backseating is no longer justified. That's funny. I looked up the name of the model on, what's it called, YouTube, and I see Five Intersecting Tetrahedra, tutorial designed by Thomas Holt, ASMR paper folding. My niche has already been stolen. Oh, sorry, I gotta mute this video. Alrighty, the final unit. Okay, so he looks for the shape of the tetrahedron. I got it. Or the icosahedron. So is this the same one? Right here, right here. Good, good. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, starts by shoving it. Aw, these are like the same color. That's a shame. Okay. This is gonna take some real finagling. I'm glad this paper is fresh, because otherwise it'd be falling apart right now. Okay, that's what I thought. This comes out from the back side here. Good. This might be right. No, this one's definitely wrong. Oh, I looked away for a sec. Okay, let me think. It goes into here, and it comes out somewhere else. Is this right? I don't think so. It looks wrong. Doesn't seem to fit properly in this hole. It's not even folding over for some reason. Maybe that's the issue. That's why it looks wrong. Okay, yeah, it actually does kind of fit. Only issue is right here, but this might be adjusted later. And it's not the right angle, actually, so this must be wrong. Oh, what is that? Sorry, I'm kind of talking to myself here, because, you know, I need to get this done. My spatial awareness is a little lacking. I always talk to myself when I'm doing, like, thought-intensive processes. This one fit really well, though, wow. I'm fairly certain that's correct. Yeah, almost certainly. True, but I'm talking to myself about a video that you guys can't see. If you guys could see it, it would be a different story. Okay, let's see. So this is also correct. It's a tight fit, unfortunately. It's actually not too bad. It's not too shabby. It's a little bit stressed, but I think that's the price we have to pay. It is a real shame that they're so similar in color. Maybe I should take this out later and replace it with something else. I think this is all correct, shockingly enough. Well, I'll keep it like this for now, and if something else happens that makes me doubt the correctness, then I'll fix it. Let me adjust it a little bit. Okay, so yeah, this is a result of some inaccuracy earlier, but I think it'll still be okay. It'll still come out to be the decent display piece. Okay, that was satisfying. So if you see at the top here, there's actually like a 5-pointed star. It's Kovac! Oh my god. I'm starstruck right now. Thank you so much, dude. That is the Kovac of the Kovacs FPS aim trainer. Oh man, that means so much, Kovacs. Thank you. Or Kovac. Saw your video. No, but seriously, thank you so much. It means a lot that you enjoyed it. I literally couldn't have done it without you. Okay. This is going to require some surgical precision. It's like trying to fit a square through a circular hole here. His video is really advertisement and I fell for it. I was anticipating some criticisms, but I'm glad the whole experiment went for well for you as it did. Honestly, any stagnation that happened was entirely my fault. Like, I don't think there's really anything to critique about the aim trainer. I know people have been a little bit salty about the changes in the update, but aside from that, at its core, it's exactly as advertised, and it does it perfectly, in my opinion. You have 1,300 views in 5 days. I'm very happy with how the video turned out and its reception. It's blowing up well. I feel like the YouTube recommendation algorithm is not doing me any favors. The Kovac subreddit, however, is doing a great job. Okay, now I'm actually seeing the shape now. I can determine where I'm going wrong. This is huge. So this is completely wrong. This goes under. And I think it goes in like this. This is actually very satisfying. Seeing all of my failure and tribulation come together, and actually I can see what I'm trying to do now. First launch of 2.0 could have gone better. We'll do the same thing when we release smoother. That aside, what is this thing? I'm trying to base this channel around picking up new skills. However, the next skill I've decided to pick up, which is a butterfly knife, has a 2-day shipping from good old buddy Amazon. So for now, I'm just gonna I'm doing some calmer streams where I just do some origami and talk. Kovacs was great for talking over as well, I found. That's a niche I tried to hit where I basically podcasted while Sorry, wait, what will your skill be with a butterfly knife? There are a lot of tricks you can do with it. So kind of like pen spinning, but with a butterfly knife. But yeah, I use Kovacs as pretty much a podcasting platform. Well, I was still trying to figure out what they wanted to do. He calls it an icosahedron, but it's really just a ball of triangles. Have you gotten into any rhythm games? My son is really big into Beat Saber. I got into Osu, which is a circle clicking game. Has a lot of high skill ceiling in terms of aim, and also like tapping speed, accuracy, all that jazz. A lot of fun, a little bit of RSI, but aside from that, it was something I'd definitely do again. As for picking up new rhythm games, I did think about it. I thought about picking up like Beatmania or Clone Hero, but I do think the market for those games on the YouTube sphere is pretty small. Outside of Clone Hero, Clone Hero is doing great. I've gone back and forth to getting in my son into OS. He's almost 7, and oh yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, you'd have to moderate the maps that he downloads then. That is a shame. I mean, there are a lot of maps that do not have that kind of imagery, but unfortunately, it's definitely very prominent within the community to use those kinds of risque anime backgrounds. Okay, I'm not seeing the shape for this one. This one is rough. Oh, but I was saying earlier that while I'm waiting for Amazon to ship me my butterfly knife, I decided to do some chill streams, just talk over my frustrations in doing this piece of origami. Okay, so is this wrong, is the question. Most certainly. But how do I fix it? Oh man. So it's supposed to look like this on the top, right? You see this 5-pointed star? But what I've got right now... Where'd it go? It's so lost. Here we go. I've got this mess. So that means there's an intersection that's gone wrong somewhere. And I'm not sure where. Surely this has to come out. Oh, Bacha Baka. Thank you so much. Oh no, it's all falling apart! The white paper is the most finicky of all. I actually told a friend of mine, his alias on Twitch is like _, that you had followed me on Twitch, and he told me like, yeah, I was actually playing Reflex a while back, and he stopped in my stream and said, asked if I needed any advice. I'm like, wow, this guy is cool. This is actually turning out way better than I anticipated. I just realized the Terraria speedrunner AGTQ went live. I have to watch that, but I'm sure I'm going to be catching you streaming some more. Yo, thanks so much, man. It means a lot. And I kind of want to watch that too, to be honest. Heck, my stream, I'm going to watch some Terraria. But see ya. Thanks for stopping by. I wonder who's doing it. A close friend of mine from a while back named Hectic, I think is his Twitch alias now. He really wanted to get into streaming for a long time. He was into Spelunky speedrunning. He did a lot of other speedrunning like Slime Rancher and some other various games. And then he finally found his niche with Terraria. He had a video where it was like killing all of the bosses in Calamity mode in under X amount of time. And it hit like 400k views. So that's how he finally found his audience. And I'm really happy for him. He finally found a niche that he can subsist in and do it full time. And holy fuck, this is cool. We did it, boys. And you iron out some of the kinks. Take that, Hono. Heck you and your stupid 3D modeling program. I got paper. This white piece of paper here is unfortunately the most strained out of all of them. It's at a pretty rough angle right there. Oh, you can't see anything. But aside from that, the rest of it is very clean. Whew. Where's Hana? It is finished. Oh, I need a better angle. I can't believe this is the first time you're noticing that I don't have letters on my keyboard. I have the nerd keycaps, yes. This is actually stock though. The stock keycaps are the nerd keycaps. They are blanks. But yo, isn't it cute? This keyboard? I even got a matching cable for it. If I don't need legends, then what's the point of having them? Don't need my letters, but I definitely still need the numbers for the symbols. Okay, I will admit that sometimes when I try to go for like an ampersand, it does take me like 3 or 4 tries. But numbers took me like a week to learn at most. Yo, I fixed the white. Yeah, that's pretty clean. Not bad. I forget which symbols are where pretty often. I also have a keyboard on my phone. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Where it doesn't have like the sub legends on it. So I have to kind of guess where all the symbols are when I hold stuff down. Now show it to mom and have her put it in the fridge. I don't know where I'm gonna put this, to be honest. I might put it on my my dresser, because it sometimes shows up in the camera. This turned out way better than I expected though, because when I still had one tetrahedron left to insert, it looked like it was not going to work properly. I will say that the one that's in the image to the left here, it does seem like the paper they used, or like the units they used, are a little thicker than mine. This seems a little bit more hollow. Maybe it's because they have a little bit less tension on their tetrahedra. But yeah, there you go. Look at that. When it spins, you can see the exact shape. Oh, it's beautiful. If I could change anything, I would change the color of one of the tetrahedra. But unfortunately, I just ran out of paper of that color. Give it to Nia. Well, I mean, if my cat destroys it, at least it'll make for a good clip, yeah? She's looking out the door right now. Next to the penguin plush. Hello, Nia. What's that? Very curious cat. See, she won't destroy it. Looks like she's just a blob. You can't even see her her paws. The blob cat. But yeah, I guess that's that. I'm very happy with how this turned out. A lot of trials and tribulation went into creating this thing, but yeah, it turned out well. Heck yeah. Playing with fire, or should I say pause? Yeah, she's a good cat. She wouldn't destroy this. Well, no, she would. She definitely would. But I feel like she's become a lot less mischievous in recent times. Cat's a bean right now, no limbs. True. But there was a point in time where she stuck her face inside of a glass of full of water. Well, no water left in it. It was just like a glass used for water. And she knocked it over, broke the glass. I had to, vacuum it up and stuff. But I feel like since then she's been less. She attacks stuff on my desk less often. She doesn't even like go on my mouse pad anymore. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's good for when I'm playing games, but when I'm like watching something, I wouldn't mind a cat putting some fur all over my mouse pad. See any inconsistencies? Just pinch all the corners. My finishing touches here. Make things a little bit tighter. The last triangle that I had to put in was really satisfying. It's like when you're doing a puzzle and then you finally see the image and like everything is just fitting into place properly. Before I'm just kind of like grasping at straws at what to do and just trying to following instructions blindly. But the last one I did intuitively. Like I just understood what I had to do. I do want to get rid of this one so I can replace it with another color someday. I think that would be really cool. But another time, another place. For now, it's good stuff. It's so unassuming too. You have to like think about it differently to see that it's all made up of tetrahedra instead of just being this one pointy blob. Oh, it's my Bluetooth headphones that routinely die on me. I was planning on keeping it with my exercise today, but as I'm getting back into it, I should go kind of slowly because I feel like my entire body's going to be sore in the first week of coming back, so I'll just do every other day for now. So yeah, I guess I'll play some Apex.